Welcome back, guys, and today I am with Judy Crabb, and if you want to just introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Judy Crabb, and I am a mental health therapist at a small, or not really a clinic, but a small office in Pewaukee. And I am a licensed professional counselor for the state of Wisconsin, as well as a nationally certified counselor.
So what is your specialty in therapy?
My specialty is I deal a lot with anxiety. Okay. So I spend much of my time with women and usually teenage girls. That's typically who I spend a lot of my time with. Okay. So I don't know that I would deem them a specialty as much as that kind of evolved from the different clients that presented themselves to me.
So how do you help people deal with the stress and anxiety when they come to you?
Well, I spend time letting them just what I call verbal regurgitation. Okay. So they spend a lot of time talking. I spend a lot of time listening initially. And then what I try to do is pinpoint the skills that are lacking in dealing with things like anxiety or even depression type things. So I spend a lot of time talking with them about what types of things they already do that help with their anxiety, and introduce new skills for them so that they can effectively manage what they are not able to do at that time.
So if someone is dealing with anxiety and they don't feel comfortable going to a professional, how would you suggest that they deal with that anxiety? One
of the things that I kind of put a little bit of a warning label on are self-help type things. Okay. Not that those aren't helpful, because for some people they are, and there are very, very good resources out there for self-help. The first thing I would say is definitely get informed about what anxiety actually is, because people can essentially misdiagnose themselves. So that's why it's important to get a professional opinion. Even talking with your general practitioner about some of the things that are happening for you, they might have some suggestions or ideas as well. So that if you don't want to go to a counselor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, that would be a good starting place. Mm-hmm. And for people in middle school or high school or in some kind of school setting or university setting, even checking with the counselors there and getting good resources there. Okay.
And then, so if a friend comes to you and they're dealing with anxiety, how do you suggest you as the friend take in the situation, and how do you seek help?
Well, when a person comes to another person who is not necessarily informed themselves, it becomes difficult for that person to really help them. So the one thing that I would recommend is just being a really good listener and a really good supporter for that friend. And if it's a security thing, like if this is a life-threatening type of thing, that would be a point where you would need to encourage them to seek help from a school counselor, a parent, a pastor, somebody that they trust, because you don't want to be in that position of, hey, my friend came to me and they said that, they're self-harming or they're thinking about suicide or whatever, and I didn't do anything about it. Not that it's their responsibility to do anything about it, but a lot of times when people seek help, or they seek help through their friends, or they seek help through another avenue because they're afraid to maybe approach a counselor, or they're afraid to approach their parents. So it's a good idea to support them and help them through that. And if you feel like there is a security or safety issue there, then it would be important to report that to an adult so that they can take the appropriate steps.
Yeah. So is there like a line where you have to go see an adult? Where's that boundary?
Well, I would say that if there's any discussion of suicide, any discussion of self-harm, any discussion of harming other people, that those would definitely be lines.
If a parent has a child who is dealing with mental illness and they come to their parents, how would you suggest that their parents react?
Well, this is really important part for parents, because we don't want an overreaction from parents. Parents need to come at this as a loving, in a loving way, helping the kids to, or whoever it is, to do what's best for themselves, knowing that, hey, there are lots of pressures in this world, and hey, you know, it's not what the parents have done wrong, and so they need to make sure that they understand that when their child comes to them, this is awesome, because kids may not always do that, and so for them to feel like, hey, I created this space for my children to come to me. That's awesome. Yeah. And so now I need to be supportive and helpful and to guide them and to ask them what they need, you know, and just be that support system for them. When they do come to counseling, typically if they're 14 years or older, they really need to be part of that decision-making process. So of coming to counseling or not. Yeah. And parents need to take a little bit of a hands-off approach in a sense, and let that development, that relationship develop between the therapist and the child, and let that happen, because if the parents are in it, it's going to be less effective for that middle schooler or high schooler or whoever comes to need that. So that would be one piece of advice for sure, kind of a little bit hands-off, because the counselor will tell you if there's things that you need to know. So trust that part of it. Also, just to know that asking questions and saying, hey, I was counseling, what did you talk about today? Those kind of things can be very, they can turn kids off to counseling, because then they don't feel like this is their journey or their process, and that the parents need to be so involved in that. But really the support and the love and through that process is really what the student needs at that point. Yeah, definitely.
So, and then just to kind of conclude, is there any other pieces of advice that you would give to middle school kids who are either dealing with mental illness themselves or have a friend who is dealing with mental illness?
Sure. One of the biggest things about mental health in our society, in our country, is that we don't pay enough attention to it. Yeah. So I would say, make sure that you're informed. If you are unsure of something that might be going on for you, get informed. You know, read, get resources, talk to people, and take care of yourself. Okay. Take care of yourself mentally, take care of yourself emotionally, take care of yourself physically, spiritually. All of those things make a big difference, and that helps people to become more joyful. It helps to create a more fulfilled life, and really pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to what your body and your mind are telling you. That's huge. And don't be afraid to seek counseling. It's not. It has kind of one of those weird, weird stigmas that, if you go to a counselor, you're crazy, and you're not. This is a great process. Counseling is a process, and it's a journey, and it's a part of life. And I truly believe that everybody can benefit from it. Of course, not from now until the time you pass on, but certainly in a period of time of your life, if there's things you're struggling with and so forth, you can talk to somebody who has really no investment in your life, but they can have an investment in you in that time that you see them, and help you, give you guidance that other people in your life can't give you. Yeah. Because they have an invested interest in you, and so they're going to want you to make certain choices and certain decisions. And if you see a counselor, that helps you to have somebody who's non-judgmental, very supportive, and certainly who will not nudge you one way or the other.
Yeah.
Allow you to make your own choices and your own decisions for your life.
Well, thank you for coming and talking with us today, and thank you guys for watching.